Only two spots left in the NBA playoff semifinals. As it should be, the 4-5 series in both the East and the West. And today I'm going to be doing some quick hits on my thoughts on the first round matchups because, this has been a just a fantastic round one of the NBA playoffs. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody says. You know? And it's rough, if you're new to the channel, this is generally a Raptors channel, but obviously the Raptors are not in the playoffs, so I'm just rocking with the playoff teams because I am an NBA guy. I love the NBA. I love NFL. I'm a sports guy, so welcome to the Flex Network. For all of you that have kind of been around on Raptors Flex Plus, I'm trying a new thing, man. So rock with me. And yeah, for season 2, we're gonna be doing some next stuff. But yeah, if you're new, please like, share, subscribe, all that. Let's get into the beef. Not Kendrick and Drake though. Not Kendrick and Jay today. We're gonna keep it NBA. So man, I'm gonna start with the Knicks and the Sixers. Okay, the Knicks and the Sixers. First and foremost, come on, man. What a series this is, or was now. Like, this series is the best series of the first round of the playoffs, hands down. No questions asked, no questions about it. That is what it is. Big facts. Big facts. And I give respect to both teams. The Knicks came out victorious last night in another nail biter because it feels like all of these games have been nail biters from game 1 to 6. And like there's been game winners, there's been beef, there's been like, should mans get suspended? There's been all types of things that have been happening in this series. But you have to give respect to both of these teams because they are fighting and clawing, trying to get a dub, Trying to get a dub. And for anyone that wants to disrespect the Knicks, stop it. Stop it. They have been the most impressive team from my point of view. And when I say impressive, I mean, I didn't expect all this from the Knicks, man. I didn't because historically they've been a team that's kind of faltered in the playoffs, haven't really had like the mental toughness that they've shown. Tibbs said last night, like, the mental toughness on this squad? Yeah, doggy. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. But like, you can see it. It just pops off the screen when you're watching these guys. They are flying to the ball. Every single loose ball, they're flying to it. Every single rebound, they're flying to it. Defensively, they're all up in the shorts and they are undersized. Sure, Mitchell Robinson can go against Embiid and he did a pretty good job, but for the most part, you got OG Anunoby, Isaiah Hartenstein. Like, no disrespect to those players, but like Joel Embiid, if he didn't get injured, bro, he would be a back-to-back MVP. And he's shown it in this series because he literally did what he did on one leg. On one leg. Big ups to him, man, because those guys did not fold. Did not fold. Yeah, they had some bad luck go against them. I think it was game 2 or whatever at the Garden when Kyle Lowry messed up on the baseline. No timeout was called, all that. We know all of that. But really and truly, you can go back and look to game 5. Yeah, game 5 when Tyrese Maxey went off and stole a game. Like, those pretty much just like balance each other out, right? Because there's a whole lot of things that you could say from that one, the Mitchell Robinson foul, missed free throws, all of that. But this series was lit. This series was lit. Tyrese Maxey stepped up to the stage. And I was thinking about Tyrese Maxey this way, man. When I was looking at this series, I'm like, remember when D Wade came onto the scene and him and Shaq won the championship? And Shaq wasn't like the Shaq that he was in LA, but like D Wade put the team on his back. Like, those were the types of vibes I was getting from Tyrese Maxey on a true, real talk. Those were the vibes. Now, obviously, it didn't like pan out to that because they're out in the first round. The Heat went on to win a championship. D Wade is a Hall of Famer. Tyrese Maxey has a lot of work to do. I think he got his first All-Star this year. But bro, you're looking at a guy that stepped up to the stage in the playoffs when their MVP guy Joel Embiid was on one leg. So hats off to that team, man. Hats off to both teams. Tobias Harris, bro, man, I've said this before and I'll say it again, man. The Sixers made the wrong decision by getting rid of Jimmy Butler and keeping Tobias Harris. Because remember, they had to like make that choice after the Raptors, Kawhi Leonard hit them off in the corner with the four bounce tree gone, game seven. Yeah, they had to make a choice and they chose Tobias Harris. Maybe it was for the shooting and all that, or maybe it was just too much of Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid bumping heads. But come on, man. Come on, man. This guy put a donut up in game six. A donut. And before we leave this series, shout out to the New York fans, man. New York City, baby. Yo, Philly. Philly fans, man. Y'all let them mans come up in the Wells Fargo Arena and take over. At the start of game three, I'm texting my boys. I'm like, yo, this sounds like a Knicks home game right now. At the start of game three. And they did the same thing in game four. And game five, Philly fans, you did a little bit better, but the Knicks fans still came out. They still came out heavy, you know? So shout out to the Knicks, man. They are going on to the next round of the playoffs. And they are slated to play the Indiana Pacers. So let's get into this one now. Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks. Indiana done them off last night. Got rid of them in 6 games. Pat Bev is doing some bozo stuff at the end of the game. Like, really and truly, like, I like Pat Bev. You know, like, there's certain players that, like, you like what they bring to the floor, right? And you have to take the good with the bad, like the Draymond Greens and the Pat Bevs, yo. But, like, Pat Bev, guy, what are you doing? You tossing the ball at the fan? Like, this game is over, bro. I don't care what these guys were saying to you. You are in their stadium, in their arena. You know what I'm saying? The field house. And that is the fans' right at that point. Yo, they're sending you home. You're gonzo. It's a wrap for you, dog. But anyways, the league office is gonna do whatever they do with that. It sucks that that's the first thing that you have to bring up in this series because literally that's the last thing that just happened while this series was a wrap. But yo, let's be honest with this one. Okay, so first of all, I had the Pacers winning this, right? Because I thought Giannis was gonna be out. I thought it'd be a tall task with just Dame, right? And it turns out that that was the deal. You know what I'm saying? But like missing Dame for a game, you know what I'm saying? And like they actually won that game. So the games with Dame, the Bucks lost. Like that not make no sense, dog. Dame came out in the first game, game one, dropped a 35 or 30 piece or something like that in the first quarter. And then like what happened after that? What happened after that, man? And like the Pacers I mean, let's be honest. If Giannis was in this series, I don't think anybody's picking the Pacers to come out the first round, yo. But the thing is with the Pacers is they got a lot of valuable experience with this squad because obviously there's new players, Pascal Siakam and everything since midway through the season. And they're going through their first playoff series together with this team. You know what I'm saying? With Pascal being on the team and stuff like that, and Tyrese Halliburton. So I think this is a good opportunity for them to learn in the first round of the playoffs. But when they go up against the Knicks, yeah, they might be missing Julius Randle and Bojan Bogdanovic, but this team is playing rough and tough. Rough and tough. So Indiana, you're gonna get challenged in a way that you weren't challenged in the first round, man. You know what I'm saying? And like when I was just talking about the good with the bad players, like Bobby Portis is another one of them doing bozo things. You know? So like I don't know, maybe they have too much of that energy on one squad when you have Pat Bev and Bobby Portis on that one squad. And generally, like that should be something good. You know what I'm saying? Because those are two tough guys, tough-minded players. You know what I'm saying? That like those guys are types of guys that I would want on my team, especially Bobby Portis, to be honest with you. Right? I wanted him for a while, yo. But like at the end of the day, I mean, the Pacers play a fast-paced game. They put the ball in the bucket, and I think the Bucks just didn't have the firepower to go against that squad. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, if the Bucks went up against like the Knicks or something where it's just a grind out type of game, and like you might have some lower scoring games and stuff like that, maybe I would have gave them a better chance to come out that first round, right? But like the Pacers just a bad matchup for the Bucks without Giannis Antetokounmpo. But nevertheless, like shout out to the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam, Andrew Nemhard, you know, Nesmith. Like these guys, they have a bench. They have guys that can put the ball in the bucket. They have guys that run the floor. They have guys that are tall and lanky. When you look at like Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam, they're not an easy matchup to go against. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this second round when you have those two contrasting styles. You really just hope that the Knicks didn't burn themselves out. You know, like I didn't feel like Indiana exerted too much energy going up against the Bucks, respectfully. But like the Knicks going up against Philly, yo, they left it all out on the floor. Both of those teams, right? But anyways, it'll be interesting to see because historically, when you look back to like the Reggie Millers and the John Starks and all of like them series back in the 90s with the Knicks and the Pacers, those were fly. For some of you young kids that didn't get to see that, like, man, beautiful series, beautiful basketball, beautiful history, and all the stars come out. Spike Lee gonna be out there. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably have Reggie calling the games. I know Reggie normally calls like the West Coast games, but guy, that would be lit if they had Reggie Miller calling those games on TNT against the Knicks and the Pacers. So we'll see. That series starts on Monday, but that's basically what's happening on one side of bracket in the East. On the other side of bracket, man, the Celtics just slapped up the Heat, guy. Slapped up the Heat. There's really not much to say about this. The Heat were missing Jimmy Butler. They're missing Scary Terry. You know, like these guys have like the two guys that fill the bucket the most. I guess you could say Tyler Hero, but Tyler Hero is not like that type of guy. You know, he's a tertiary scorer. He's not your primary or he can be your secondary, but he's better off as a tertiary scorer. You know what I'm saying? And I like Tyler Hero. Like I have these conversations with one of my boy all the time, and he kind of be batting up Tyler Hero and all the time. I'm like, yo, I like Hero though. You know, just because Jack Harlow did a song for him, you know what I mean? Don't hate, dog. Don't hate. But the Heat just don't have it. They don't have it, yo. They don't have it when they're not full strength against the number one team in the NBA, And unfortunately for the Celtics, although they took care of business, losing Kristaps Porzingis to the calf injury, that's gonna be problematic, man. That's gonna be like hella problematic, you know. In the second round, they're either gonna go up against the Magic or the Cavs. It's still going to be problematic. I think a lot of people are looking past that series, and I'll get to it in a second. But it can still be problematic in sorts. But you still expect Boston to get past and get to the conference finals because that is like the expectations that they're a finals team. And then when you look at all the injuries in the East, you expect Boston to be there in the conference finals. And the Heat didn't really put up a matchup against them. So obviously the Celtics are getting an extended rest right now, which is good for Kristaps Porzingis. You know, um, what's my man? Derek White has been on fire. You know what I mean? So maybe you would rather it that the Celtics play a game sooner rather than later to keep that heat going. But at the end of the day, you really just want to stay rested because as the playoffs go on, that then you're playing like every other day once you start getting into the conference finals and those types of things, right? So take your rest if you're the Celtics. Take your rest. I don't think anybody really expected the Heat to really challenge them that much. The Heat got blown out in beer games. And that was the expectation, man. So not too much on that one. They will play the winner of the Magic and the Cavs. And, let me give a little apology to the Magic and Cavs fans. But at the same time, not really apologizing. On my last episode, I started off like, nobody cares about the Magic and the Cavs. And the Magic needs scoring and all this type of stuff. Listen, man, I'll take back this, okay? The Magic got beat up in game 1 and 2 of the first game, the first leg of this series, right, in Cleveland, and then the Magic came back and won 2 games at home, right. And I was saying that like the Magic need more scoring and like things of that nature, and yes, they still do, right. Like I don't see this being a team that's gonna get past Boston, even with missing a Porzingis. Okay, like I give Cleveland a better chance to get past Boston, but as I'm hearing right now, Jared Allen might be injured. So like, really and truly, if Jared Allen comes back, then that could be problematic for the Celtics if the Cavs are able to get past the Magic. But I digress. The Magic, they're a team that's learning how to win, learning how to play in the playoffs. Just like they did all regular season, they were learning as they went. They started off really well, and then they kind of went into a lull for a bit, and then they battled back at the end to snag the fifth seed. Like this is a team that you're gonna see some growing pains with them, and you have to give them some credit because Paolo Banchero and Jalen Suggs. I've been talking Jalen Suggs' name all season long if you watch this channel because he's one of those guys that I feel like you're necessary on your team. A glue guy, a guy that has, the toughness and able to spark the team through leadership and things of that nature. I felt like he really sparked the team for the Magic and really like springboarded them to tying up this series. Him and Paolo Banchero. So big up to the Magic. Right now they are down 3-2 in the series. They had a tight game in game 5 against the Cavs, but they are now going home. The home team has won all the games in this series. So if things hold as they should, this is looking like it could be a game 7, which works well for Boston because Porzingis, you want him to get all the rest that he can get and get better to try to get back, right? So that's what's happening there. The Cavs, man, like I don't know, man. They're a good team. Like I don't really believe in them. I've never really believed in them. They're a good team, but like they're starting to like give me like Raptors vibes. You know what I'm saying? When we had DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, and we couldn't get past like what I'm saying, the top teams in the playoffs. Like it's like they need somebody else. They need like a superstar. You know, Donovan Mitchell is a star player. Darius Garland is on the come up. Star player, made the All Star team last year, not this year. And they're still missing something. Like they don't have that superstar power to get them out of this playoffs, like to a finals. But nevertheless, maybe they prove me wrong. But that's the vibes that like the Cavaliers are giving me. So the winner of that series will face the Celtics, and those will be your last 4 teams in the East once it's all said and done, right? So, moving on to the Western Conference, I'm starting off with the Lakers and the Nuggets. Okay, the Nuggets. Oh, listen, I know it's a gentleman's sweep, and listen, I'll take my shots because I said I thought the Lakers could win this series in 6. Obviously, they lost in 5, but nobody can't tell me that this wasn't a competitive series. All gentlemen sweeps aren't created equal in my eyes. At the end of the day, the result might be the same, wins and losses, but every single one of those games were hella competitive, and the Lakers were in the lead for most of the series. For most of the series, right? And then unfortunately, you have AD getting hurt down the stretch of the last game and everything. But that my matter. At the end of the day, Jamal Murray, bro. Oh my God, man. Jamal Murray is literally a killer, yo. Shout out to Jamal Murray, man. Jamal Murray. Yo, Jamal Murray moving like the Don of Canada right now, dog. Moving like the Don, bro. Teflon, yo. Ain't nobody can touch this guy, yo. I'm telling you right now. This guy's, yo, he's a killer, dog. He's a killer. With all due respect to the word, I'm talking about in basketball terms. The man is a killer. The man turns up in the fourth quarter and just, What's that thing he does? Like that or whatever, like this? I don't know, whatever. That's his thing. But yo, the man's hitting game winners, 2 games like in the series. That's crazy. That's crazy. Man, that Nuggets team, I know a lot of people are saying they didn't play well, they didn't play up to their capabilities. And I feel like they're not giving the Lakers credit, yo. Because the Lakers played their hearts out as well. My problem with the Lakers is that once they start playing sloppy, then like it just starts to snowball. You know what I'm saying? It's like, with all due respect to LeBron James, one of the greatest players of all time, we're not going to get into all that today. But like, really and truly, like they feel like they're missing leadership in that regard. You know, like once the sloppiness starts, it just snowballs. And then you have Darvin Ham on the Lolos. I've been calling him Ham Sandwich, but like respectfully, that's on the Lolos, but I guess it's out there now. But like, dog, you're doing Ham Sandwich things, bro. When like the team's playing sloppy and stuff, you're holding on to your timeouts, holding on to your timeouts, and then you ain't got, and then you're holding on to the timeouts at the end of the game. Then the next game, you're using timeouts, you're taking stupid challenges, and then you have no timeouts down the stretch to go and try to win that game after Jamal Murray did that to y'all. Like, bruh, man, it's not good. It's not good. I think this Lakers team is better than what they put out on the floor. And I think the little technicalities and the details of the game caught up to them, right? Mike Malone outcoached Darvin Ham, right? Outcoached him because the Nuggets were out by 20 like a couple of times in this series and came back, right? And then obviously once things start snowballing and the Nuggets get momentum, Michael Porter Jr. starts hitting shots, like it's a wrap from there, right? And Jamal Murray's never losing confidence. The fact that I didn't even bring up Jokic's name yet shows you what the Nuggets are doing. Shows you what the Nuggets are doing. Jokic is doing his regular thing. But when the playoffs now start turning up, Jamal Murray is a whole different player. Michael Porter Jr., you would think maybe he might not be focused for all the things that's happening with his family. You know what I'm saying? And like, not to call things out because you want to be respectful. Everybody knows the Jonte Porter situation. But then his other brother had a situation as well where he got jammed up. So like, yo, this guy is focused. Focused. Respect to the Nuggets, man. And you know, the Lakers, the Lakers are a good team, man, but they're gonna have to make some changes, right? You can't go into another season of the same. And later on, I'll do some more episodes on all the foolishness that they're talking about right now, like yo, LeBron might opt out. What team is LeBron going to? And rate. Not doing that today. The Nuggets deserve the dub. Jamal Murray turned up on him. Michael Porter Jr., I thought, had a fantastic series. You had Aaron Gordon go off in a game. I think it was 29 and 15. You know, you had Mans come off the bench. Reggie Jackson, I think it was in that last game, and showed out. Like, true team effort by the Nuggets, yo. True team effort. The Nuggets went and won this game, or won this series. Obviously, 4-1, gentleman sweep. But I also feel like the Lakers gave some stuff away. They really did, yo. But at the end of the day, if you're a good team, you're not going to give stuff away, right? And the good teams will take advantage of those things and go and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And that's what we've seen in that series, man. Beautiful series. Beautiful series. I actually like wanted a game 6, yo. I'm like, yo, all these games are coming down to it. The 2-7 matchups in both the East and the West were dumb lit, dog. Dumb lit. So fire. I enjoyed those, man. I really enjoyed those. Right? So the Nuggets are going on, and they will face the 3 seed, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves, who, not a gentleman sweep, a disrespect sweep, a disrespect sweep on the Suns, a disrespect sweep on the Suns. I said it again because the Suns, bruh, you got KD, Hall of Famer, Devin Booker, multi All Star on his way to being one of the better shooting guards in the history of the NBA. Bradley Beal, who was proper back in Washington when he was playing with John Wall, but how long ago does that feel like? And they thought that was going to be the big 3. But not even just that. They also have Nurkic in the middle, who I think is more than solid as a center. You know, you have a few bench pieces. You have a coach that won a championship with the Lakers in Frank Vogel. You have all these things. And to be transparent, preseason, my pick for the NBA Finals was a repeat of, was it 2021? The Bucks and the Suns. And I had the Bucks winning. Both these teams are gonzo in the first round and they didn't even look competitive. That's the crazy part about the Suns, right? Didn't even look competitive because they're healthy. All right? You get the Bucks because Giannis wasn't playing. But the Suns and Dame didn't play for a game. But the Suns are healthy. The Suns are healthy. You know? And Ant-Man is just disrespecting y'all on the court. And everybody's talking about how this is the next MJ. This is the next MJ. And next man is saying pump the brakes, but they understand why people are saying what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like the attitude and the persona and the bravado, all them type of things, the alpha mentality, right? The never back down mentality from the Ant-Man is a beautiful thing to watch because we thought that that type of stuff was extinct, right? The last guy that like you seen with some of that was maybe Russell Westbrook, right? And as Westbrook gets older now in the league, man, we'll get to that series as well, Westbrook, bro. But anyways, you thought that that was extinct in the league because it's like everybody's so nice to each other now, buddy up on the court. You know what I mean? Bati and Bench best friends. Like, not Ant-Man, dog. He's going for blood. Blood. The young man is leading the team. You heard what he said to his homeboy, Cat, in the press conference, right? Like, dog, stop fucking fouling. Excuse my language, but that's what he said. You know what I'm saying? Yo, he's not playing all them type of games with mans, dog. He's here to win a chip and give him the dip. But he not even, like, you don't even got to give him the dip. He's taking the dip. That's what's happening with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And for the Timberwolves, man, we all got on them for that Rudy Gobert trade, right? Or like, yo, you guys gave away everything for Rudy Gobert. You could only get the A seed and all that. But remember, they went up against the Nuggets last year and were competitive. Competitive. So they have some like unfinished business with this not with the Suns. That business has been tossed out. You know what I'm saying? But unfinished business with the Nuggets in round 2. Now, I have one issue with this series and one issue only. Okay. Chris Finch, man. Damn. Head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Man got, I guess, bowling balled, rolled up on, bust up his knee, had to get surgery. Like, man, that's a big loss for the Nuggets. That's a big loss for the Nuggets. When you look at the coach of the year things, it was like Mark Dagnall with the Thunder. We'll get to them in a minute. And then obviously like Chris Finch, and I think the other one was Jamal Mosley in Orlando. Those were your top 3 guys. Chris Finch has done a masterful job with this team. Masterful, right? Even down to the rotations, man. You got Naj Reid, an undrafted player coming off the bench. You know what I mean? The size. The size. You got 3 guys that are built to go against Jokic. So the matchups in this series are going to be interesting. But Minnesota, man, give them credit because Ant-Man turned up on the Suns. When we talk about the fourth quarter and all that, right? How we're talking about Jamal Murray, Ant-Man is doing the same thing in the fourth quarter. The same thing. So you got 2 killers going up against each other in the next round of the NBA playoffs. That is going to be the series that everyone wants to tune in for. That one. That one. That is the one. Clear cut. That series is going to be hard. Right? So I'm here for it, man. The Nuggets got their hands full, and you know, they sustained some injuries, right? Every man's ankle getting rolled up, man. Flipping Murray, playing through the ankle. Who was the next man? KCP. The Wolves are healthy. The Wolves are healthy outside their head coach. So we'll see how those things work out. But I think that series starts tomorrow on Saturday. So I don't think I have much going on tomorrow. I'm gonna have to tune in for that one, like tomorrow night. Got some things during the day, but tomorrow night I'm gonna tune in for that. Right? So that's a 2-3 matchup in the West. Right? Next round. Now, the Thunder. Man, you gotta give a little respect where respect is due. But at the same time, the Thunder still have some respect to earn, right? And they should feel this way. They should feel this way. Because keep it a beam. Nobody expected the Pelicans to really like challenge the Thunder like that without Zion Williamson. With Zion, this is not a sweep, right? They got swept. Pelicans got swept. But with Zion, this is not a sweep. This is a real series, and we're probably still talking about it right now, right? Because you have younger teams that need to learn how to win and all those types of things. You can say the same for Minnesota, but Minnesota's been in the playoffs the last couple years, right? Cat was in the playoffs with Jimmy Butler a few years ago. So like you have guys that have touched the playoffs, but like this young Thunder team, they don't have a lot of playoff experience, if any. I need to look at their roster, but SGA, no. You know, Chet Holmgren, no. Jalen Williams, no. Like these are all like newer guys. You know what I mean? So they're gonna have their hands full with whoever they go up against in the 4-5 matchup in the next round. But you still have to give them credit for dunning off the Pelicans in a sweep fashion. And that's where you have to give the respect because even though we thought the Thunder had this series, guy, they played some tough ones down the stretch. I believe game one, right? They had to protect the rim and they couldn't get a rebound for the life of them, but they figured out how to win, right? And that goes a long way. That goes a long way for a young team, and it went all the way to a sweep. But by the end of the series, it was a wrap. You know what I mean? They closed it out on the Pelicans floor, which is hard to do, right? Winning the fourth game of a series, you're a young team, and you got to go on the road and do it at the opponent's crib, the Smooth King Center. You know what I'm saying? So big up to them, but really and truly, I want to see what they got in the next round because I feel like that's where the real challenge is going to be, yo. That's where the real challenge is going to be. And they are going to go up against either the Clippers or the Mavericks. And let's just call the elephant in the room right now, right away, no delay. Kawhi Leonard, bro. Broski. Come on, man. God, you missing stuff all the time. Let me take a sip of water, man. Bro, you missing stuff all the time. You're missing in action. You're MIA, dog. MIA. And like, obviously, I keep thinking back to, the last time Kawhi Leonard was healthy through a playoffs, and it was basically that 2020 bubble season where they lost in the semifinals. Or maybe it was the conference finals, but either way, they lost, right? And that was a series after, that was a year after he won the championship with the Raptors, yo. And you don't want to call out nobody's health in question and all those types of things. But as a Raptors fan, you just have to sit back and think, guy, like, yo, what if this guy re-signed with the Raptors on like a 1-and-1 player option or something, you know? And he had a fantastic season and he won, or the Raptors won. They go back to back, and Kawhi Leonard decides, okay, bun that. I'm going back to LA now. I got 2 championships in Toronto. As a Toronto fan, man, it pains me because that was the last time he was healthy in the playoffs like that, right? And we could have had our back to back. But ever since then, Kawhi Leonard, man, I don't know what the doctors are doing with you in LA, but we had you right up in Toronto. We had you right up in Toronto, right? We had you right. And now you're just missing games. Like last year, you missed the first round, I believe. Where you played a game and then you was MIA. This year, no, no Kawhi. Like you still look at the Clippers and you're like, yo, these guys still got enough, man. They still got enough, right? PG, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Norman Powell. But the problem is with those guys, it's the consistency in the playoffs for them, right? Remember, people were calling Paul George Pandemic P. Disrespectful, by the way. Disrespectful, man, hitting shots off the backboard. James Harden been missing in big games from like the longest since he left the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook, bruh, you are having just a horrible series since I believe it was game one or two. After that, you've just been like not very good, you know, when the team needs you, you know? So like, I don't know, man. I had the I had the uh I had the Mavericks winning this series regardless. You know what I'm saying? Regardless. And Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, they're looking like a good pairing. Like Kyrie Irving, he knows how to play with another superstar, right? He has that experience playing with LeBron James for all those years. And you can see he knows how to play with other superstars. So what happened in Brooklyn, yo? KD, what pop? Like obviously those guys didn't get to play together for the most part because all them things was happening during the pandemic, and then other things happened with Kyrie in terms of this outside. I'm not gonna get into it, but like at the end of the day, the Nuggets, sorry, not the Nuggets, the Mavericks, they really should get past the Clippers here. No Kawhi, and I already saw Kawhi's out for Game 6. I already saw that. I think it's tonight. Out for Game 6. So the Nuggets, not the why I keep calling them the Nuggets? The Mavericks should like wrap this up now. Wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Wrap it up. Send these guys home because I'm tired of watching the Clippers. The Clippers, man, they are a disappointment, dog. They are a disappointment. And maybe playing at the crypto.com arena is the issue. They just need to have their own stadium or something, which they are building. They call it the Intuit Dome. You know what I'm saying? But like, guy, it's just not working, bro. They did everything in their power to try to rebuild the 2019 Toronto Raptors, yo. They took all our players and tried to rebuild it and add other pieces. That no work, Reggie. You can't. One of one, that Toronto team, bro. One of one. So, anyways, uh, the Thunder are waiting for the winner of this series. If the Clippers can come back and make a comeback of some nature, I mean, I know. But James Harden, dog, you have a good game, then you go missing. Like, their only hope right now is Paul George, yo. You know what I mean? And Russell Westbrook. Oh, they have guys. Norman Powell, man, I can go down the list. They have a solid squad. Zubac. You know what I mean? Daniel Tice. I would love to have Daniel Tice as our backup five in Toronto before we got Kelly Olynyk. I was looking for our backup five, but I still think we can use another five. I'll get to that another time, you know? But that's what the series are shaping up like. So in the East, really and truly, Indiana, New York, a series that is very intriguing, contrasting styles. I'm looking towards it. And Timberwolves Nuggets, right? Timberwolves Nuggets. That is the one. Timberwolves Nuggets and Pacers Knicks is the two. Whatever happens after that with the other two series, we'll see. But those are the series I'll be paying most attention to, the 2-3 and the 2-6 in the next round, right? Because it's literally impossible to watch all of these games, yo. But at the same time, keeping up with what's going on, because I just gave you like 30 plus minutes of content, 40 plus minutes of content talking about the series then. So yeah, y'all. Again, if you are new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. If you feel like I'm just showing some disrespect for your team, let me know. If you're feeling like the analysis is just off and you want to battle the point, we could battle. You know what I mean? It's battle season. Everybody's rapping right now and battling, yo. It's battle season. Get in the comments. Let's go, baby. Yeah, man. But yeah, yo, when I look at these playoffs, just one other point, yo, that I look at these playoffs, man, and I just try to wrap it back to my Raptors. You know what I'm saying? You can see the guys who have it. You can see the guys who have it because that's what the playoffs are about. It's about making a name for yourself. That's why I don't throw around the label superstar loosely. I don't throw around the label superstar loosely because superstars to me are built in the playoffs. Superstars to me are built over time. Superstars to me have a brand. And when you look at guys like Ant, branded. That man's branding himself as the next MJ. He didn't even need to do it. Everybody's doing it for him. You know what I'm saying? The last time we talked about the last MJ, it was like Vince Carter. Keep it a bean. Keep it a bean. Obviously Kobe, but like Kobe was like almost like a carbon copy of Michael. But like when we talked about like the next Michael Jordan, it was literally Vince Carter, dog. So now you have Ant Man who is stepping into those shoes, and man, he is everything that you're looking for in a superstar. He's it. He has it. Jamal Murray, killer in the playoffs. Not so much a superstar yet, but bruh, you have another one of these playoff series where you're just killing them like this, going to the conference finals, killing them like this. Man, we'll have to see. But Ant-Man has solidified his name right now as a superstar, and we'll see what Jamal Murray says about that in that series. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Brunson and these guys, not a superstar. You know what I'm saying? You are a star player, but like, bro, you also went missing in the first two games of that series. You know, but nevertheless, I don't want to digress too much, man. My Raptors. This is why I don't throw around the word superstar too loosely, yo. You know, Scotty Barnes has all the potential in the world, but like we gotta help Scotty Barnes get into the playoffs. We gotta help Scotty Barnes like you know be able to at least get there where he can elevate his game and show what he can do on the big stage when everybody's watching. You know, because nobody watches Toronto because when you see what's happening right now, right? The way people are singing the praises of OG Ananobi when we've been saying this for years here in Toronto, for years. OG Ananobi ain't doing nothing different than what he's been doing here in Toronto for years. But when you get on that big stage now, right? Because OG missed our 2019 run. He missed that, right? Got appendicitis and all that, right? But you see what's happening now on the big stage. OG Ananobi, they're singing this guy's praises like he's the best defender that ever walked on the planet Earth. You know, and he is one of the best. One of the best. There's no doubt about it. But it just pains me because this is what we know this already from Raptors fans. Pascal Siakam came out blazing in the Pacers series. And you see what these two players are doing for their team, yo. And they're taking it to the second round of the playoffs. So I have a question for Raptors fans that are still sticking around listening, right? Because I've been critical of Darko Rajakovic. Are you telling me that these two players, Darko Rajakovic, could not find a way to make them be successful in Toronto with the likes of a Scotty Barnes? Come on, bros. Now listen, man, I like RJ Barrett. I like Emmanuel quickly, and I'm here for the future. I've moved on past that previous era, right? We're here for it, right? But my critique of Darko Rajakovic has always been, right, from like midway through the season. It looks to me like he's a player that he's a coach that needs the players that fit his system. He is not able to take pieces that don't necessarily match his system traditionally, the way that he's drawn it up and the way that he envisions it, and like mold it into something different that fits those players. Because it pains me to see those guys playing prominent roles on teams that are now in the semifinals that are going up against each other. One of those teams are going to be in the conference finals. One of those teams will be in the conference finals. So we'll see what happens there, man. I am looking forward to the second round of playoffs, and I'm also looking forward to the NBA draft lottery to see if we keep our pick. Whole lot of simulations that I'm seeing right now. They're just trying to dun us off and take away our pick already, dog. Man, if the Raptors could land a number one overall pick. Anyways, yeah, dog. One last thing. Go, Leafs, go. Go, Leafs, go! Go, Leafs, go!